Welcome everybody to our energy talk here Wednesdays right after the energy prayer on YouTube Live. I welcome you from all over the globe. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm an energy healer, energy coach and therapist. I train people on how to deal with their energetic sensitivity, on how to master some of these challenges that come in when we feel that there is more to life than just the physical 3D, and when we are not necessarily calling ourselves, I don't know, religious or esoteric. These words to me are outdated, quite frankly, guys. This is part of my job as a visionary to recognize these future needs, future trends. And there was one thing I realized like roughly 20 years ago, just through my own personal experience, and that had to do with the need or the desire, the yearning almost, to connect with something spiritually, not just as an individual, but also to connect with others on a spiritual level. And I didn't know how to approach this. I wasn't a churchgoer. I didn't have any frameworks for connecting spiritually. The words prayer, the words God, they were conflicted in me. And through my own journey, which led me through so many different aspects of spirituality, the study of all religions, obviously, the study of philosophy, the study of alchemy, the study of shamanism, the study of psychology, the study of, all methods of precognition, not necessarily clairvoyance, but how to tap into my future self and how to form, a systematic way around this. So my body of work here is really to help those, to assist those who are not necessarily preoccupied with a certain bias of what spirituality means, but for those who want to develop their own personal relationship to their spiritual self. And that is something that even transcends New Age. Okay, so if you've been following me for a while, you may have heard me say quite controversial things that upset the Wokian New Age community, because I have also studied some of the more nitty-gritty aspect of our spiritual self, if you want to say it, namely the energetic realm. And that has then come to me as basically the talent that I have. I can see people's energies, I can see how they interact with another, and that has provided me with an uncanny ability to see truth. So my big, I want to say, mission here, whatever it is that I teach, is to help people discern truth, because I've recognized that this spiritual yearning in me, this desire to connect with my soul self, that this has something to do with truth, and that this has something to do with perception, that this has something to do with knowing myself. And no matter what I studied and trained, no matter what teacher I found, and these trainings, these studies, guys, they have led me from originally 7 years of university training to shamanic training in South America, to NLP training, psychological training in Europe, to all this sort of learning, how to actually help people, the educational part, the coaching part here in the United States. And I can tell you that all of them together have formed a very different perspective on spirituality in me than most of what I find out there. There is probably only one body of work for me that encompasses it all. But even that body of work, which is the work of Rudolf Steiner, entails everything from early Sumerian, Persian, Vedic, Chinese, South American wisdom. So for me, spirituality is something that I would call the culmination of the inner wisdom coming forward through us as humans. Spirituality is inherent in all of us humans. And with every collective development, with every development of outer conditions, so this condition that we have here today, with 7.5, I don't know, billion people on this planet, has never been there before in this way, at least not to our knowledge. And so we have a very unique situation. We have a very unique sort of technological advancement, throughout humanity. So we have a very unique condition that requires us humans to respond in a unique way. And this is basically what we are experiencing right now here, guys. We are experiencing, and this is nothing mystical really, we are experiencing a huge shift throughout humanity, and that is one that has to do with the perception of reality. We've never had that situation before, where we had internet, where we had social media, where we had tools that allowed one entity, or a small cabal, a small conglomerate of entities, to influence the whole entire planet at the same time. And we are experiencing the dark aspects of this right now. And so with this new paradigm that is coming in, we are being forced to and develop our own consciousness. Yeah? So basically, up until now, we have had the belief, this is unconscious to most of you, that there is some kind of higher power outside of us, and that this is something that, well, like a hive mind, yeah, that we need to obey to. And that preoccupation has led to us basically more or less believing in anything. Believing in all the transmissions that are coming through. And New Age hasn't helped, guys. Trust me on that one. I've investigated that. It has made everything mystical, esoteric, and therefore gave people specialness, but it hasn't really helped people to discern what is coming in. And so whatever is commonly called as woo-woo, guys, is something that is really misleading people. Not the fact that there is a woo out there, but the fact that most of these New Agey groups and teachings have misled people into an alternative reality. And why did this happen in the last 50 years? Because people didn't have a framework for discerning, let's say, discerning entities, discerning beings, discerning energies. So this is why everything I do as a teacher, as a therapist, as a coach, leads to people learning how to discern this. That's why, for me, everything is energy. But not in this material sense, but in the sense of demystifying, what people keep in the unknown and what makes it impossible for them actually to navigate through. So for as long as I mystify energies, guys, as long as I woo-woo things, okay, I cannot discern. And this is something that most people don't like to hear, because especially when things like we are experiencing right now have become so confusing, and when nothing makes sense anymore, Our ego likes to find refuge in this alternative reality, in this woo-woo place. But that is, some of you understand now, there's videos here on this channel where I talk about the duality of darkness and the two sides of darkness. If we woo-woo everything, then we're just basically going too far out and aligning ourselves to just a different version of darkness. That said, woo itself exists. Yeah? The ether exists, energies exist, vibrations exist. Yeah? They exist on a physical level, but they also exist on an etheric level. And that is what we need to differentiate. If we want to navigate through these elevated difficulty levels right now, dealing with darkness that has never had that kind of megaphone, that kind of mouthpiece before as it has right now, yeah, where darkness is so secure, so full of itself, that it comes out in the open, that it is visible with the naked eye. That is our wake-up call, guys. We have to step into discernment. If you cannot see this with your eyes, with your physical eyes, what that darkness is, then you need to go within and check out where you're standing here with your own consciousness, with your own willingness to see truth. Yeah. All of you who are anxious about, oh my God, the dark forces and all that, you have to drop the anxiety, guys. You have to recognize that this is reality. Okay, you have to see it. You have to call it by its name, and you have to understand what side you are on. And I'm not saying this to increase your inner conflictions or your anxiety. All I'm saying is that you need to be able to discern what is dark and what isn't. If you can't discern that, you'll believe in anything, guys. Even in everything your mind says. Last week I said you can't believe in anything your mind says. Why? Because your mind isn't yours. You are not conscious of all your thoughts. I can prove this to you. Yeah, you have a critical inner voice. There is a collective thought field. There is a collective thinkingness that is going on in you no matter what. You can't help it. Yeah? For most people, roughly I would say 90% of the thoughts that they have aren't really their own. And the other 10% are thoughts that derive around pleasures or how to avoid pain. Yeah, ego thoughts. But the main point being here is that if you want to learn how to think your own thoughts, because you're realizing that what you are thinking isn't your own, okay, you're going to have to train that. Because the programming that you have been receiving here through not just mainstream media, social media, your parents, schooling and so forth, this is intergenerational, guys. Yeah, this is epigenetic. Okay, you have been programmed to operate on a level of hive mind, if you will, and that's why you're so susceptible to mind control. That's why you're confused right now. Anybody who's confused right now is confused because they cannot discern. They cannot discern truth. You cannot discern darkness from light. That is why you're confused. So you're going to recognize that and learn how to develop the mental discipline, the emotional discipline, also to a degree the physical discipline, so that you can develop the spiritual and energetic discipline, to navigate through that. But this is just my view of what is going on here in this world. This is my view of how I see the world. Now I'm interested in hearing your view. This is an energy talk. Please Let me know what your opinion is, what your question is, what your thoughts are here. How do you feel about thinking your own thoughts? How do you feel about feeling your own emotions? How do you feel about what I'm saying right now? What comes up for you guys? Does this make you feel scared? Does this make you feel angry? How do you stand with that? With the statement, if you are confused right now, then that's because you cannot discern dark from light. Thank you, Linda. You feel encouraged to learn, and that's obviously my goal, but that is everybody's individual choice. Now ask questions, guys. The next question needs to be, well, how can I learn this? Okay, how can you learn this? Well, I've mentioned the discipline, all right? So you're going to have to, really work with yourself here. Yeah, you can dedicate 1 week to discerning all your physical sensations and maybe add vocabulary to your own ability, to pinpoint things. This is what, from an energetic, to add the energetic component to your physical sensations. We use the chakra model to give this names, because our energy centers, they correlate with certain physical regions. Okay, then you can spend another week with just discerning your emotions and actually really feel into what you're feeling. What am I truly feeling? What are my needs? What are my wants? What are my unmet needs right now, and how does this make me feel? Then you can spend another week and just spending on discerning your thoughts. What does this thought even mean? Okay, who's thinking this thought compared to what? Who says? Right? And then you can spend another week on just discerning your beliefs. What's the underlying belief to that? Oh, I'm such a loser. Okay, says who? Compared to whom? Compared to what? What's the belief underneath that? What's the ideal underneath that? That's the spiritual realm. And then you can investigate the energies. The energies underneath all of that. How does this contribute to my life, or my life force being expressed here? And if you come to the diagnosis, the self-diagnosis that your life force is subdued, that you spend most of your life in a state of Groundhog Day, a state of stagnation, that you are not actually that you don't have the courage to make changes or shifts, guys, then there is a major imbalance in your life. Okay, your job is to find out where that imbalance is and to address it step by step. This is basically the process of learning how to discern truth in a nutshell. Then obviously we have higher vibratory levels to that, and those have to do with connecting with your empathy, connecting with self-love, connecting with compassion for others, and then ultimately also non-judgmentalism or non-judgment and unconditionality toward others. Linda's bringing in a very, very cool aspect here. You're saying it's been surprising to see my lack of words or even attention to what the feelings are that I have. Yes, I know. Most people suffer from that, Linda. It's not just you. It's as simple as I lay it out. You need to increase your vocabulary. You need to increase your literacy, your emotional literacy. Just like with the physical, where I suggested you learn sort of things about your energy centers, because they correlate with physical regions. It helps you to contextualize them with your emotions. So you need to learn about emotions, okay? Linda, let me do this with you here live. Name me one emotion that you can pinpoint that you have. Not necessarily right now, but in general. One emotion. Sad. Okay. Sad. Okay. Sadness. All right. Let's call it sadness. Now let me guide you through this, how you guys can investigate that. Linda, what kind of sadness? Is it a sadness that relates to Having been betrayed. Is it a sadness that relates to feeling lonely? Is it a sadness that relates to having lost something? A sadness that relates to lack of connection. Okay, describe it to me. Describe to me what that lack of connection feels within yourself. How does it feel like in your body? Where do you feel your sadness? Feeling alone, okay. Where do you feel it? The sensation of it. Where in your body? Okay, it gives, do you mean deep and heavy? It gives you an overall feeling of heaviness? You feel it in the center of your chest, okay. All right, and that lack of connection, go a little deeper with this feeling alone. Is this just related to like other people, or is this perhaps related to a form of emptiness? Is there an emptiness there? Kind of like the visual that I have right now is like a hand that is reaching out to something, but it's not answered. It's empty. Nothing comes back. Is that it? Describe it with your words. This is how you increase your literacy. Yeah, feel in. Allow visuals to come forward. Allow perhaps even songs to come forward. Also emptiness. Okay, now describe the fundamental emotion underneath that emptiness. Is there maybe a fear that nobody wants to answer you reaching out, or that nobody wants to be there for you? Maybe even rejection. Is the sadness linked to rejection? Not deserving love. Wonderful. Okay, so you've just qualified, you've just discerned sadness. Oh, and now you're seeing that it actually also feels like a lack of self-love. Okay, there's an emptiness there. Something that is not returned, something that makes you feel lonely. And as you are basically guiding yourself through these moments here, it's literally just a few minutes of feeling into it, you're realizing that this is actually linked to a lack of self-love. Yeah. So there's a sadness in you, and that sadness signals the lack of self-love to you. Now let's do this with the thoughts. With the thoughts that we have. There were some aspects here that you mentioned that have to do with the thoughts or the beliefs around that. And there's this deserving. So as you're allowing yourself to feel that, as you're allowing yourself the sadness that links back to the lack of self-love, there's at least one thought, but go further here. One thought is, oh, that's because I don't deserve love. What else comes into your mind? Unfiltered, Linda. Unfiltered. What comes in? Maybe something like I'm not good enough. Maybe something like I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. Okay. Now go into the worthiness. Question it. Okay, there is an aspect, I'm broken. Okay, I'm broken links back to I'm flawed. Yeah, I'm not as perfect as I should be. Yeah. Hi there, Marigold. I'm guiding the audience here through, going through physical sensations, emotions, and thoughts, and questioning the perception of it. Linda, stay on it. I'm broken. Take that statement, that's a thought, and question it. First of all, compare to what? Compared to what? Are you broken compared to a version of you when you were younger? Or are you broken compared to other people? Or are you broken or flawed compared to the ideal of, I don't know, what a good person is supposed to be, or a lovable person is supposed to be, compared to everyone who feels love? Okay, now question that. So basically what I'm hearing you say is that your mind feeds you with beliefs that you're the only one who cannot feel self-love, and that compared to other people, you're really messed up, you're really broken. Is that what you're saying? There's more that's coming in here, yeah. I have never been worthy of love or compassion or understanding. Live audience, help us out here. You are our assistants here in this, how to question your own perceptions. Do you, without knowing Linda and anything about her, do you believe that these thoughts that Linda has, that they are true? That everyone out there is worthy, everyone out there feels self-love, everyone out there has, ultimate compassion and understanding and all that, except for her. At least Becky says no. It's not true. Just Becky? Who believes that Linda's thought or mind is correct? That this is a true statement without knowing anything about you? I don't. I think it's absolute BS. Those thoughts that you're having there are absolute BS, Linda, and that is not you speaking. Those are your thoughts only. Okay, so what I am doing right now here, yes, thank you, Marigold. Marigold is chiming in. It's absolutely not true. How do I know that it's not true? Because most people I talk to, first of all, have the same thoughts. That's kind of weird. How come we all have the same thoughts? Hive mind maybe? Mind control maybe? Thank you. Yes, see, the live audience here knows that these thoughts are not true. Yes, it's not true. But what does this mean now? Now that we've uncovered thoughts that we're having that are not true. Well, first of all, we're going to have to let go in believing in them. Okay, we have to say, all right, well, that's a thought. I don't know, let me write that thought down. Okay, and let me verify that. Let me investigate that. According to the live audience here in this energy talk, apparently the majority of people here come to the conclusion it's not true, but obviously we have to verify that for ourselves. Separate the thought from yourself, Linda, and all of you guys. Separate your thoughts from you. That is just a thought. And until you've thought that thought all the way to the end, you yourself, just like how I've guided you feeling your emotion all the way to the end, and you come to the conclusion, okay, this sadness that I have is linked to the lack of self-love. Yeah, this emptiness that I feel is linked to the lack of self-love. And the thought that comes in with it, that I am not worthy, that I am broken, that I'm not deserving, is not even true. Now, let's go one level farther with this. Linda, thanks for being my life coaching subject here. What about the beliefs behind that? What is the belief system, the mindset, the mental construct behind that? What's the spiritual belief, Linda, that comes up? Is that? Do you have a spiritual mindset, a spiritual framework. Something like, I am a sinner, or I don't deserve God's love. I got missed somewhere. Okay, you got left out. You don't belong. You don't deserve to be part of what? You don't deserve to be human? Yes, and this is psychology now that you're bringing in. So here is where most people have a lot of difficulty distinguishing mind or thoughts and thought constructs, or thoughts and psychology. Like, you're bringing in, for example, if my mom doesn't love me, then that must mean I don't deserve love. But how does that affect your spiritual beliefs, Linda? Nice. You just did it. You have developed a mental construct or a belief system, a mindset that basically says you are only valuable if you do. Yeah? So you have to do something in order to be loved. Versus, it is enough that you exist. It is enough that you are. So basically, doing is the only thing that can prove or that can make you deserve love, versus being. That's a huge one, Linda. And everybody's learning through you here right now. We started out this energy talk, and actually in the energy prayer we felt it, with acknowledging that we exist, that we are. We are a human. Sorry for that. Strider, come here. Hey. Okay. Sorry for that. There's somebody at the door. Strider, come here. We are a human being. We are a human being and not a human doing, guys. Remember? And I love how you contextualize and how you respond to this here. Marigold, thank you for speaking to Linda. And this is beautiful healing here. Maybe your mom isn't able to love you as you would like. Yeah. That's how you question those beliefs. Yeah. Maybe your mom taught you a version of love that is conditional. Yeah, that sounded something like, oh, you're only good if you do as I say. Or, oh, I will only give you what you deserve. I will only give you attention. I will only give you love if you perform in a certain way. Maybe it is the mindset and the spiritual belief behind all of this sadness and these thoughts and these physical illnesses that is not wrong, not right, and that is not true in the first place. That's how you question your perceptions, guys. In order to deserve love, you do not have to do anything. But you can feel it, it's intuitive. There's a connection between you loving yourself and you feeling the love coming from others. Yes, and truth feels like love. Yes, exactly, Marigold. This is how her mom showed her love, and that's, part of our growth here, and also our self-discovery journey, that we all, with no exception, guys, recognize that our parents were insufficient parents. And those of us who are parents themselves, myself included, we have to come to the conclusion that we are, to a certain degree, even if we try our best, insufficient parents for our children, because we are never able to give 100% how our children need it. So it's not like pointing fingers and making our parents the bad guys, but we have to recognize that that's part of our thought construct here, is how we were introduced to love. So all of you out there, and this is pretty much 100% of you, who have issues with self-love, issues with compassion and empathy, and confusions around that, you have these confusions because of how you were introduced to these things. Yeah, be it through, the way you were raised, the way you experienced social love, with your friends, the way you were treated, the way the values that you have formed. And the only way to get through this, guys, is actually to consciously work with this. And I love how you guys sort of intuitively go into this healing mode when you do that. Yes. This can be healed. So healing is not necessarily a healing of flaws or brokenness. Healing is mending. Mending that which got separated. Mending the gaps, perhaps, for many of us. Many of us weren't really taught true love, unconditional love. Many of us were raised with conditional love. I only give you love, I only give you attention if you perform in a certain way. And that's a very toxic form of love, guys, and it carries into our relationships. And everything else in our life, our entire ability to manifest our needs and wants and desires and goals in life. So this is a wonderful energy talk. I want to thank you guys all for engaging here. And because I have recognized that this engagement is a bit limited through the texting, I'm switching back to Skype for the energy talk on Wednesdays, okay, where we can turn on our cameras, where we can share it into the microphone, and where we can infuse this energy talk with even more personal energy, okay? So starting next Wednesday, the energy talk and the energy prayer again on Skype. The link will be in this video, but the energy prayer and the energy tips will remain here on YouTube for Fridays. If you would like to investigate how to use these tools, you can always ask for a free consultation with me. I have multiple courses and programs for learning all these things step by step, depending on how you're coming in and depending on what your goals are. There are new courses coming in, but there is something unique that I have never done before and probably won't do again. Starting on the 6th of December here, it's called the Daily Energy Boost. It's a 14-day program for all of you who were really serious about breaking through things. It's a daily energy session every day, that boosts your energy so that you finally find the courage, finally find that bust through energy for yourself. It's called High Energy Transformation, Daily Energy Boost. Check this out on my website. That is for those of you who are really serious. This is pure energy transfer. And to all of you who came here for this beautiful energy talk, I want to thank you all for participating. Check my YouTube channel for over 600 videos now. Some of them are workshops, huge body of work there. Yes, just go and listen to the workshops if you have a sleepless night. I will see you again here on YouTube Live on Friday, 11:30 a.m. And for those of you who would like to check out some of the energy sessions that are going on at transCODES, like a gym, for people who are doing this energy training, then please go to my website. We have the Karmic Family Clearing session come up here for Thanksgiving on Friday afternoon. And for those of you who are interested in how December energies are developing for you, the energy tune-up on Sunday, 4 p.m. Those are things that can help you along the way, help you navigate more. Thank you guys all. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you in the United States. Yeah, it's a beautiful opportunity, my favorite holiday. Yeah. And stay safe and free.